Okay, so today is the day I'm going to be crawling up under this little shed right here. I've got a wire that runs underneath both those sheds that goes to my electrical breaker box over here. One of the wires isn't moving current, which is disturbing because the only reason I can think for that to happen would be if that wire somehow is broken. And that wire is big enough and heavy enough so that nothing should be able to break it. But having said that, I've got this other wire here, which is really pretty major stuff. And I bought this from a friend of mine who had it in the yard sale. You can see that's certainly sufficient wire to run out here. My biggest problem is just getting it under this shed. That one over there has some crawl space, and you can see the wire I have here. You can see where it feeds underneath here. So I should be able to feed it right over to that. I also want to bury this wire once I get it in here. And I've got a truckload of pea gravel coming today that I would use for that. But I got to be kind of careful with this other wire, because if it's somehow gotten pinched off or broken, that could be a hot wire under there that I don't want to grab hold of and get to know on an intimate kind of way. Another thing to worry about, obviously, is snakes. That's why I'm out here kind of early this morning before the sun gets too much hotter, to see if I can get up under there and back out before the snakes wake up. Snakes don't generally get real active until it heats up a goodly bit, and it's going to be warm today, but not as warm as it's been the last few days, so might be a good time to crawl under there and have a look around. I'm not going to take any wire with me to start, just because I want to see what it looks like when I stick my head up in here. I was smart enough, I guess you'd say call it smart, to put plastic down underneath this at some point in the past. I think I'll go get me a drop cord, because I can take this light under there with me instead of depending on that little flashlight that I just went out and put in my pocket. This is a tactical flashlight, by the way. That means it's dangerous, so I don't know if it would defend me against snakes or not. I kind of think it wouldn't, but anyway, we'll leave that right there. And we'll take this instead, and we'll drag that big drop cord under there. Oh yeah, and I got this battery thing going. I ought to check on that. Sorry, I'm so easily distracted. I start off going in one direction and then wind up going in another. Let me change that. All right, this is the part where I lay on my belly. And, you know, I think I've got me a little blanket thing that might make this a lot easier too. Not really a blanket. I've mentioned this thing before. It's one of those things I bought a long time ago that I thought was probably going to turn out to be useless, and I've used it a lot. It's just a little thing that you're supposed to be able to lay down on it and roll up under a car or something. I didn't think I'd ever use it, but I have used it a lot, actually. So, I'll use it today. I can roll that down and lay on it so that I don't have to lay on this muddy. Even though this is plastic, it's gotten some mud on it over the years. Now here I am under here. I'm looking up in here for wasp nests, and I'm looking in places like this for snakes. And where I want to go is going to be pretty far up in there, which is all going to put me in more places where I can find wasp nests and snakes. Now what I'm supposed to be able to do with this blanket thing that I've mentioned that I have, what they advertise that you can do is you can lay down on it. It's got two little handles down here, right down here, and you're supposed to be able to grab these handles and slide, and it kind of rolls along. That ain't working. Maybe you have to put the handles up here and slide with it. Anyway. Yeah, no, that ain't working. Here. This is kind of working, doing it this way. Knocking spider webs out of here as I go. Not looking real inviting up in there. I don't see any daylight coming out, which is I put little side panels on either side of this, like underpinning that I made out of tin, and I must have done a pretty good job because I don't see any daylight up in there. Let me pull y'all up to here. Maybe trying to see what I'm looking at this way. I tell you what I might wind up doing instead, is burying that cable, especially where I've got the new pea gravel coming in, and I'm pretty sure I can cut that old cable. But that way I can go ahead and put the new cable in, I can bury it and wire the garage with it. And then once it's disconnected, I can cut the old cable. Let's walk outside. I'm not in love with being under here. Anyway, so let's go up here. This does sort of work. You kind of have to crawl up on it every so often, because you tend to roll off. Okay, there. Let's get out from under here and walk back around yonder and study on this. I'll leave that here for now. So what I could do instead is run that wire over to there, come under this building, bury it in the ground here, and bring it around and go up into this over here. It's gonna be a lot of work, but it's doable. Might be more doable there. Okay.